Again, the prime aerospace and defense contractors at this point, are all solidly 100% in on aerospace and defense-related market spaces, and we are all competimates in all these areas, right? So we're all heavily in, with the exception of Boeing and General Dynamics, who do have significant, certainly Boeing is 50% of their business is commercial related, and General Dynamics through the Gulfstream Aerospace side of their business, have a significant piece of commercial business. Everybody else is focused in on the defense-related industries and continuing to develop and change as the market changes. Obviously, competing. We call ourselves competimates because we compete on some and we're partners in others, and we all have a place in this space. Most notably, I think, is that recently, we've all really increased and put an increased focus on IT services. And when you look at how we've also continued to adapt, working across the market space, we've gone away from major combat, of course, and moved into the spaces of irregular conflict and humanitarian assistance, et cetera. We're really looking at engaging across things like, as I mentioned, information services. When you look at, for example, and I can speak to Lockheed Martin, we are the largest IT provider to the federal government. And many folks may not know this, but we actually process 50 million Social Security checks per month, and we also managed and ran the census in 2010. In this government, in fact, we're doing the UK census as well, and in the US, we processed over 100 million census forms last year as part of that service. The other thing is, all these organizations are also getting into logistics and sustainment type activities, because we finally figured out that there's more than 70% of the total spend on any product or platform that gets delivered to the government is in the sustaining of that product over its lifetime. And again, we often hear the emphasis put on the big five prime contractors here, defense contractors, although it's really, as you all know, a multi-tiered supply chain of which the flow through of every dollar that the government spends on this industry, 60 to 75% of that work really flows right through that supply chain. Information that we have suggests that there's over 30,000 suppliers at some tier, whether it's first, second, third, or below, within that iceberg, if you will, that are contributing to the aerospace and defense industry. I know that Lockheed Martin in 2009 had over 28,000, almost 29,000 suppliers in some way, shape, or form contributing to their business. And of course, many of these organizations use the same suppliers across their product lines.